you want me. You said you're lonely. You can't get none of me. Smoking the gas now. Feel like a star, yeah. She wanna get rich. Proud of Dior, yeah.
What's good, everybody? I'm Brandon. Today I'm about to react to Ups and Downs, WrestleMania Part 2. Nothing much to really talk about it. Yesterday, I reacted to Part 1, well, Night 1, and now we're doing Night 2. God damn, this is a 24-minute video. Let's hop on into it.
And that is that. It is done. The first ever two-night WrestleMania is in the books. And no matter what you want to do, you're never
24-minute fucking video.
Brand, you can get in.
I lifted weights yesterday. I deadlifted. My back kind of sore.
I just want to say, whether you thought things were good, whether you thought things were bad, whether I give them an up or whether I give them a down, I just want to say to World Wrestling Entertainment and to all the wrestlers who performed here, thank you very much for distracting me.
I still love y'all. Y'all my homies. Chill.
I forgot about all the craziness in the world, and from the bottom of my heart, I truly do appreciate that. Thank you. But my name is Simon Miller. If you haven't seen WrestleMania 36 Ups and Downs Part 1, make sure you go and see it first, because I've decided this is a bit like the Godfather trilogy. Look at me overestimating my own product. But it's now time for Night 2. Get ready, brace yourself, because there may be even more madness to talk about here. Let's up. WrestleMania 36 Night 2 Downs.
All right, let's get it, Simon. I want to just skip to the good shit. Who won out of both of my girls, Rhea Ripley, fucking Charlotte Flair, out of Otis and Dolph Ziggler? Who won out of fucking, it's just a lot.
It was Liv Morgan versus Natalya, and if you're wondering, how did this end, you already know
Natalya
in your
won.
brain, because it did finish with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
Liv Morgan won.
The count of that is 21, and it's 3 for WrestleMania 36 as a whole.
Surprise roll-up.
I believe is too many also here. Natalya was doing some roll-ups, and then Liv Morgan was doing some roll-ups, and I guess that Liv Morgan's roll-up was the most surprising, because Natalya was all flustered, like, oh, I don't know what's going on, and she lost after a 3 count.
They wasn't gonna let Natalya get beat up by Liv Morgan, like win and actually beat her up. They wasn't gonna do that.
It's far better than she gets credit for, but that finish has just become irksome now. Sometimes it's nice to have a really solid victor and just somebody that happened to lose a wrestling match. It happens in boxing, it happens in MMA, it happens in football, it happens in all sport. You're allowed to do it in professional wrestling too. Because that, down. Stephanie McMahon and Gronkowski were back to welcome us to Night 2 of WrestleMania.
Where the fuck she been?
I think Gronk had unzipped his shirt to give the impression that a passage of time had passed. A strange guy. Our first couple match was then Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Champion, and I actually think from a technical standpoint, this could have been the best thing we saw on Night 2. I mean, they went all in, they kicked each other's ass, they did that thing where they were like, well, look, we're not going to have any crowd, and we're not going to have any atmosphere, so we will lay our stuff in really, really hard. Very, very entertaining to watch. Unfortunately, I do not understand this booking. I don't want to be a geek here, too late, because I already am a geek. There's no way I can change that. But essentially, if you want to play this right now,
me too. I play Dungeons and Dragons every Sunday.
Absolutely whipped the crap out of Rhea Ripley by focusing on her knee, which did make the former NXT champion very, very sympathetic. But then when the time came, and when she felt it was right, she locked in the figure 4, she transitioned into the figure 8, and Rhea Ripley didn't get pinned. There was no correct finish here. She tapped out like a loser. Now, what I thought was going to happen...
Damn, my girl Charlotte got that.
Power. She was going to find her mojo. She was going to fight back, and she was going to retain her championship. But no, that didn't happen. It just ended, and it was really, 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 really unexpected. And look, I get it. I understand. WWE wants to put Charlotte Flair onto NXT so the NXT versus AEW ratings can be closer than maybe they are now. But here's a little trick. I'm telling you one. You can still put the Queen onto Wednesday nights without making her the champion. Also, double. Charlotte is now just working her way through NXT superstars and beating them. Bianca Belair beaten. Rhea Ripley beaten. It also just gives this horrible impression that if you are on NXT and you get put into any main roster spot,
you can't handle Charlotte
will have someone come along and they will whoop your ass. That is the worst kick anybody has ever seen. To me, this was just Charlotte proving that if you thought Rhea Ripley was in her league, you were absolutely wrong. I was wrong. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm very, very sorry.
But I mean, Charlotte is the fucking queen. They love Charlotte Flair. You feel me? Charlotte Flair is gonna go down as one of the GOATs for the women's division. I'm not mad at it. I really like Rhea Ripley too, though.
Next up was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. And if you had watched,
You better not have lost to the big bald head black homie.
You will have known that I had thrown the idea out there that maybe Aleister could just saunter down to the ring, Bobby could guard him in the ring, and Aleister Black could have just kicked his head off. WWE didn't do that.
Oh, shit.
Oddly satisfying, and I don't even know why.
Did my boy win just for
I was
nothing?
having a walk on a Sunday, and I sat down to have a picnic. Just nice, just comfortable. Let's get it up. And most of this was Bobby using his power, which Aleister Black just couldn't contend with. He didn't look like the terrifying goth guy he did during his entrance, because, you know, it's still WrestleMania, so now he didn't just have, like, a badass jacket on. He had a badass jacket, but now it had horns.
Shit, I'm trying to get comfortable.
Comes to the big shows.
Fuck, I'm not comfortable.
Anyway,
Sore from working out yesterday.
Started to become overconfident.
God damn.
So when he went to give Aleister Black the Dominator, Lana, you remember Lana, she was here at ringside, started going, no, give him the spear. And I was like, man, that voice is like nails on the
Nobody
chalkboard.
likes Lana.
Bobby, being the moron that he is,
Listen to
her. She went into the corner, and he went to give Aleister Black a spear.
Black mass.
And you already know what happened. Aleister smashed him with the black mass, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. So do remember this. We're about to break up Bobby Lashley and Lana.
Thank you,
I'm
Jesus.
really happy we dedicated
That
all
was
that
good,
programming to their wedding. And yeah, because of all the circumstances, this didn't feel very much like a WrestleMania angle. And kind of Aleister Black won by fluke here, but I don't care. The right person won. Bobby Lashley is now protected. If you want to do this match again, you can. You can't get upset with some things. We cut to the back where Sasha Banks and Bayley were being and Bayley was super confident.
Who's she fighting again?
Left the room,
Who are they fighting?
tease that maybe later on in their match, she will do the unthinkable and go after her super friend. We were then talking to Gronk again, or he was doing his little bit of hosting, and I swear somebody had given Gronk a script. You don't script Gronk. Whether you love him or hate him, you just have to let him run free like a wild ox. Thought that was really stupid. Of course, he told us here he's going to go after the 24/7 championship later. Following this was Dolph Ziggler versus Otis, and within 2 days, within 14 hours, both Dolphy Ziggles and Sonya Deville, who accompanied him here, had just embraced their asshole ways. Like on SmackDown, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mandy Rose, I shouldn't been. I was just trying to protect you. And here, they're just walking out.
Wait.
Like, we're a couple of assholes and we don't care. They even posed to the empty arena, and we all...
Wait, why is he not with Mandy Rose?
It doesn't make any sense. Very
I don't remember.
I
must have left it.
because he had been injured on Friday.
Fuck, I should have reacted to SmackDown.
Looking for her. Outside of that, though, I just want to say thank you, W.
So it's Otis and Mandy?
So much for just sticking to the original plan, because I needed this in my life during troubled times. I ain't even going to talk about the match. I'm just going to talk about what happened at the end. Because Sonya Deville was being a massive dick, and she was getting on the ring apron and trying to distract the referee. So finally, out came Mandy Rose. She slapped Sonya Deville right in the face. That really hurt my head. She then punched Dolph Ziggler right in the balls. That allowed Otis to hit his caterpillar thing. Otis got his revenge and pinned Mr. Dolphy Ziggler.
Oh,
He had Mandy Rose in his arms and they kissed, and I was like, this is the greatest relationship to ever happen in the entire universe ever since Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth.
And they had a...
And there was a lot of bizarre stuff here, for example, when
fairy tale ending. I'm dead.
So do her music, and somebody needs to tell WWE, you only need themes to get a pop from the crowd, otherwise you're just walking out to a song for some reason. And my word, the referee must have been so confused. Obviously, he was distracted when Mandy Rose did hit Ziggles in his 2 fruit and veg. When he turned around, he just sort of got, I mean, what was he meant to think? I mean, you think he would question something, but again, some things are just heightened when you don't have people in the audience. This was everything that it needed to be. I shouted yes from my sofa I was watching. I love Otis.
Why you gotta give a proper
ending? I want
ending?
to have a wonderful honeymoon and 72 children.
Nah, that shit should have ended dark. Otis should have got
injured.
injured.
Keep things expected.
And Mandy Rose should have got taken by Dolph Ziggler.
And now here
That
we
shit
are.
look crazy.
What a lovely place to be. Otis then
I'm
walked down
glad.
the arena carrying Mandy Rose, and if you weren't a big wrestling fan,
Fuck, my back hurt.
and you didn't know the context,
15 minutes.
Stealing that little woman.
Shit, I'm sore from working out, cuz.
It was just nice, I tell you. It was just nice.
damn.
Right now in my life, I will take nice, but also it doesn't just get an up; it gets an Otisly awesome up, whatever that thing.
Give me like 10
Either
minutes.
way,
All right, let's hop back into this. I had to go pee and stretch out my back really quickly.
Then, dear friends, it was
I'm good.
Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very sorry for Edge here. Because can you imagine the pop he would have got if we did have thousands of people sat in those seats?
You're
It
right.
kind of feels very, very unfair.
You're
And this
right.
started pretty good too, because Edge was in the ring and he was waiting for the Viper before Randy Orton appeared from nowhere and gave him an RKO, and he was all disguised in a hoodie. Now, at first I was like, Randy Orton, why have you put a disguise on? There's nobody here. You don't have to try and blend in with anyone. But then it turned out actually he dressed as the cameraman. I was like, huh. It's a good way to fire the trigger and start this off. And don't get me wrong, there was loads of good stuff here as well, especially because when you now watch Edge matches, he has become Daniel Bryan, or at least I feel like I'm watching a Daniel Bryan match, and I become Edge's dad, so I get so worried. Every time he lands he lands his neck, I'm like, oh gosh, is he okay? I'm like watching between my fingers as if I'm checking out a horror movie, and I guess that kind of adds to the emotion. But I don't know whether it's emotion I enjoy. And this was really intense as well, as the two just fought around almost the entire Performance Center. Like, if you'd ever wanted a really intense tour of WWE's training facility, you got that, including Randy Orton using a TRX machine to try and hang and therefore kill the rated R superstar. And imagine that advert, like, oh, do you want to get in the best shape of your life? Buy this piece of apparatus. And when you're not using it for health-related stuff, kill your enemies. And they tried to be super inventive too, and Edge was like swinging off pull-up bars and swinging off pipes and hitting elbow drops and just splashing into Randy Orton. And look, if you had just wanted to see two men who clearly hated each other try to end each other's life, I really do think that Randy Orton and Edge gave it to you. However,
sounds good.
I'm going to talk about, we do have to mention the length of the damn thing. Officially the second longest match in WrestleMania history. If WWE had just cut this down to 20 or 25 minutes, it would have been a fantastic brawl. But I think we went past 40 here, and there were moments where I was like, I am now just watching two men do this. Oh, yeah, what, yeah, It was just a lot of grunting. There's a lot of grunting, and then the ref would go 1, 2, 3, and I was like, there's just nothing happening here. And again, I know it's not their fault, it's nobody's fault, but because I don't have the crowd going, oh, Edge, come on, Edge, kind of lost something after a while. And I don't want to take away too much from it, because there were awesome elements here. Like, they took out a cameraman at one point, and then it kind of turned into a video game because they switched to another cameraman who was running through the Performance Center, so it was kind of like a first-person shooter. And Edge had this like makeshift platform that was really high on the air, and he dove off it and hit an elbow drop onto Randy Orton, who was on a table.
I mean, it sounds kind of tight.
Documentary. He had even said during that, I'm not going to be diving off things anymore or going through thumbtacks. Apparently, this was the exception. And we saw a draping DDT off the top of a truck onto like the wagon of the truck, and then the two were fighting on top of a lorry, and we saw a spear, and we saw an RKO, and some of the
they was going at it.
Of these movies,
this actually sounds kind of tight.
You did shredder like, and it had a fitting ending too, because you had to presume a concerto was gonna come into this, and it was Edge who did that to Randy Orton to officially finish him off and win his comeback match. And look, Adam Copeland even showed his acting chops here. He was crying at one point. It wasn't cheesy, it wasn't stupid. It actually hit you right in the sad gland.
Oh shit, for real?
But again, we do have to underline and we do have to clarify that this went on for around about 32 years. Like it did. In fact, it may still be going on, and I just accidentally stopped watching it because my brain showed me what I wanted to see, the finish of it, getting the victory. But actually, when I go back on the network,
was it really that long?
Finding other things to hit each other with.
Was it really even that long? Or Simon put on extras?
It randomly switched me to Spanish audio or commentary or whatever, and it did it again here to the point I thought Randy Orton had gone, "No, senor," when Edge was coming after him. Somebody's fixed that bug. However, the length aside, I did find myself invested in this for most of what I was seeing, and deep down,
that's a long time though, over 25 minutes, man.
What we were going to get. It's why nobody else had brought around the Performance Center on either Saturday or Sunday night. So maybe it didn't hit the highs that we were expecting. And again, somebody, especially because it was pre-taped, would go, we're chopping that, we're chopping that, we're chopping that, and chopping that. But it is going to get an up. It would be unfair to say anything else. Now we need to have a rest. But I think it would be unfair if we didn't address the length with a rating, with a review, with an up or a down. So I don't like doing this. I'm doing this for the people that got in touch with me because I can't argue it. I can't debate it. If you said, Simon, did you think it was too long? I'd go yes. And that would be the end of the conversation. But because of that, that bit does get it down. Then it was classic WWE, just classic. They knew how heavy this was.
I want to know how long it really was.
I had some fun. We got to have the goofiness. And all of a sudden, all the geeks were running after Mojo Rawley, but eventually it was Rob Gronkowski that got the pin on his former best friend, and he is now your new 24/7 champion. Down. It was like, what?
Why you do my boy Gronk like that?
Is the Emoji Movie. Also, Rob Gronkowski dove off one of those podiums, and I'm so sick of these damn podiums, but it was shot in a way that you only saw his back, so I'm going to presume that somebody else actually took that fall, but that's fine. There's no need to take
Gronk should have did it.
So I get why WWE did this. They will now get a bunch of mainstream coverage. It was fine. I just didn't need it. Right after, I'd seen Edge and Randy Orton literally trying to murder one another. The Street Profits then retained their Raw Tag Team titles.
Okay.
That's it. Went around about 5 minutes. We definitely needed something short here, and we got it. Montez Ford hit a big frog splash. That allowed Dawkins to get the pin. That's all I've got. Bad guys beat him up afterwards. Bianca Belair came out to make the save. She's married to Montez Ford. How you doing? You well? You good? Having a nice time? We also learned that Tony O'Neill had taken...
It was that just kind of like...
Here.
Oh, shit, I ain't supposed to be pausing it. It was that kind of just like there. I like all of them.
Necessarily needed that. I mean, what had Gronk done up to this point? Nothing. But I'm here to recap, so I'm recapping. It was the SmackDown Women's 5-Way next, so I thought I'd tell you a tale. Or essentially, I put a little poem together. This is my WrestleMania poem. Simon.
All right.
5 women went to war at sea. It was Sasha, Bayley, Evans, and Naomi. The 5th was Tamina. She was a threat, so they all attacked her like they had a bet. It worked long before they all hit their moves. Tamina was gone, she was always gonna lose. Naomi was next, tapped out to Banks. Then for some reason, here was Tom Hanks. This is a lie, it's simply not real. But Bayley and Sasha couldn't seal the deal. They had a few problems, saw Banks lose to Lacey, but this was getting interesting, like the movie Dick Tracy. For you see, Banks came back and attacked Evans for her friend, allowed Bales to win, and that was the end.
Fuck.
Tension in the air, that was clear as a pup, but when all said is done, I'm giving it an up. I know people always put that on.
That was low-key fire, Simon. I ain't gonna lie. So Bayley retained, Sasha Banks helped her out. I kind of wanted Crip Gang Sasha Banks to get that, but it's cool.
They read poetry, but they do. I did it without even thinking about it, and even halfway through I thought, Miller, you sound like an absolute asshole. But these two are definitely going to feud. I'm enjoying the constant teasing, and a shout out to Bayley for constantly yelling at Naomi for her stupid dance moves. But yeah, this was actually alright. Far funner than I was expecting. And now, I have no idea what to do. Because we arrive at the Firefly Funhouse, or what I'm going to call the Firefly Funhouse experience, between John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Yes, sir.
My big question, or my first question, or a question that I really would like answered, if you are a new wrestling fan, and you're not into insider references or insider baseball, what the hell did you think of this? You must have been absolutely confused. But I still can't believe this is real. I still can't believe it's real. Like, it started with John Cena making his normal entrance, but then he was transported to the Firefly Funhouse, and Cena did his whole, oh no, I think I dropped my wallet earlier. I don't know near where I was. I've lost my wallet. Dude, you gotta go through the door. And the door is like, what started? Well, the madness. What started the madness? Because what essentially happened is that we went through John Cena's career. So we saw Ruthless Aggression John Cena, we saw Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena, we saw every facet of John Cena's personality. And
it sounds kind of tight.
Is that it was John Cena not only facing himself,
but his past,
facing all of his nightmares. So, for example, at one point he was Hollywood Hogan from the NWO. And why was he Hollywood Hogan from the NWO? Well, it's because we, the fans, have always been like, John Cena should turn heel. Why then Hulk Hogan turned heel in 1996 and he changed around? You know how it goes. Okay. That was the whole point here. So we're just making, like I say, all these insider references. So people like you and I, not so much. I understand. I'm part of a special club. But yeah, if you don't get it, what were you thinking? It was brilliantly narrated by Bray Wyatt too, who just got this entirely.
Shout out WWE getting creative out in this bitch.
Unlike the Boneyard match, which of course it is going to compare to, there wasn't really a thread running through it, and really, it wasn't much of a match. It was just a series of vignettes telling this kind of fascinating story. And also at one point, John Cena was like beating up Bray Wyatt on the floor, but then there was like a weird camera cut, and it turned out he was actually beating up Huskus the pig. John Cena would look sadder if he tried. I actually said out loud, John, you You don't need to work. You're beating up a fake pig. He's not alive. And there are so many other cool things that we could talk about. Like
WWE get creative. I love it.
Man Puppet was on commentary and even at one point said, it's such good But once again, you either get that, or if you don't get it, you have no idea what the hell was going on. This was very much for you and I. It also just ended too, like the Fiend popped up from nowhere and he mandible clawed John Cena, who then evaporated into dust. But then once more, I think this was meant to be him fearing or him worrying about his own retirement. This is very late. There is a lot of depth here. I would implore you to go back and watch it multiple times, because you will learn something, well, new each time you do go through it. So I massively appreciated the effort, but I have to tell the truth, when it was done, I didn't think it compared to the Boneyard match. And I want to salute WWE.
Does it have to, though?
You have
they both different.
Over these last 48 hours,
that's tight.
I think my expectations were also heightened after what I had seen on Saturday night. Don't worry though, it's still getting it up. It's still getting it up. It was still really good. There's no golden up. There's no diamond up. There's no platinum up, which I wanted to give out today. I was really ready to give it out, but when it was done, like I said, I was like, that was good. That was great. I'm going to watch it again. But it didn't affect me as much as I was hoping. However, it does prove that when WWE has their backs against the wall, they can actually come up with fresh concepts that should be inserted into their regular programming anyway.
Yeah,
I also want to shout
some
out Bray
creative
Wyatt
shit.
once more. Bray Wyatt is so good at what he does, it makes me want to run through a field and just throw my clothes off and get naked. I don't know why. It's just the sensation that I have. It did mean as well that our main event was Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar, and I know one person
I forgot about this.
was very happy with this, and it was Big E, because this was just two guys slapping meat. And you know who else was happy with this? This guy, Simon Miller.
Did he just say two guys, two big guys slapping meat?
And it did kind of echo the other
Insider, I guess,
that we'd seen the previous night, where people just store up their finishers and then spam away, hoping to hit the most. But when Brock kicked out of a Claymore early on, Paul Heyman looked like he was actually about to drop down on the floor, and then Brock went into German suplex mode, but these were far more vicious than they had been before, simply because McIntyre, smart boy that he is, was trying to avoid them. He was trying to hold on the ropes, but Brock was like, that ain't happening, and he powered on through. So it was pretty cool, as it was when the Beast hit his first F5. Why? Because the Scottish psychopath kicked out at one. And I had many emotions during this. The first was, that was badass. And the second was, can you imagine if we had done this in front of a crowd, people would have been so happy, and they would have glued their hands to the head, and they wouldn't know what else to have done. And it got even better as well, because then Lesnar hit another F5, but this time, Drew kicked out at two. It's like they were doing a fun maths game. Brock was like, how many times have I hit with the F5? Oh, it was one, Brock, so he kicks out of one. And it was like, how many times have I hit with the F5? Oh, it's two, Brock, so he kicked out of two. It was kind of obvious what was coming next, but who the hell cares? Sometimes going down the expected path is the right direction to go in, because Brock Lesnar hit Drew McIntyre with a third F5.
Oh, I thought I was about to say the Claymore kick.
This time, Drew McIntyre kicked out, he lost his mind, he got really angry, he got really annoyed, and he hit Brock Lesnar with 3 Claymore kicks. He hooked the leg, because it was 3. He got the 3 count, he got the ball. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is not only your brand new WWE
he beat fucking
but Drew
Brock Lesnar
is the first guy from the United Kingdom to hold that title. Drew, you have no idea how you have no idea how much I think you deserve this. It sucks you didn't have an audience to cheer you on. You know that I was cheering you on so loud, neighbours knocked on my door and went, shut up, and I invited them in. I showed them you winning the title, and we all danced around the living room. Some parts of that story aren't true. No, I loved it.
Simon is fucking hilarious. Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar, bro. That means Drew McIntyre is a fucking beast. You know how many people Brock Lesnar be beating all the time? But yeah, I mean, I always say Drew McIntyre, the Claymore kick is fucking deadly. I already know. WrestleMania Night 2 seemed pretty good. Bray Wyatt and John Cena, that shit sounded hard as fuck. I like how WWE is getting creative with it. That shit is dope. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments. Peace.